Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to this week's color along. I say this week's like I do one every week, but no, this is just the color along because I'm working in this book this week. I thought I would do a color along out of it. Now I'm not supposed to be starting any new pages, but since it's the book I'm working out of, I thought we would go ahead and do one. Plus, it's a winter page, so who can say no to that? Right, so we're doing the red panda page, and I'm actually using polychromos. And I know you guys like when I use my Prismacolors, and I don't really care for them, and so I don't use them that much. I have to take a break from them every now and then. But I am working on a comparison chart where I'm gonna have Prismacolors, polychromos, and Holbeins, and I will have, like, let's say I'm using my Holbeins for that day. You will be able to download this chart on my Etsy if you like for comparisons. So we're doing the red panda, and that might take a minute for me to work on. I'm working on it, but it might take a minute because I have to see which colors look like the other colors or try to get something close to it. And some of them, of course, don't have matches, or the matches won't be perfect, but I'll get into that once it's finished. So let me just take a drink and we'll get started. A long drink. I think I'm getting sick. Okay. So today, we are actually going to work on the red panda's tail. And essentially, these same colors we'll be using for the red panda, sort of, but that'll be in the next part. So today we're just going to work on the tail because I think the tail is going to be kind of complicated. So let's zoom in a bit. And so I'm using, I said polychromos, but I'm actually using the Albrecht Dewars, but they are the same colors, you know, different shape. And these you can activate with water if need be. So I'm not going to do all the crystals with you because that may take longer, because I do take my time when it comes to stuff like that. So not stuff like that, but like on my pages, I don't like to rush through them. So we'll do a couple crystals together. We'll see where we're at with time. And this color along is going to be in quite a few parts, just like my other color along. So like we'll do the tail, and then we'll do the panda, and then we'll do like the background, and then we'll do the snow. So just work with me here. It's a week long worth of coloring. All right, so I'm gonna start with ivory, and I'm very lightly gonna go over the whole crystal. Now again, you can use your polychromos, you can use your prismas. I am working on a comparison chart. I don't have one right now. I do believe there are some out there in the world, but don't quote me on if they are accurate or not. Of course, they're not going to be 100%, but you might be able to get something close to it for now. Right, so I'm also next going to come in with, actually, let me just really quick, because I don't 100% remember which color I put down first. So just to, I'm just off screen swatching really quick, just to see what comes first. This is actually darker than that, so I think it's actually like this. Okay. All right, I think I got it. And if it don't come out right, it's fine. Okay. Next, we're going to come in with terracotta. each piece I'm gonna do different. So like for this piece, I'm just gonna very lightly come from underneath, and also I'm gonna put a little bit, I'm gonna do this side, and I'm gonna leave the middle open. Right, and then I may or may not activate them, depending. And then we're gonna come in with some sanguine. And I thought I would keep the crystals the same color as the Panda. So that's why I haven't chosen like actual crystal colors. And then I'm gonna come in with some burnt ochre. And I may actually activate these a little bit, just a little. And I'm only putting a little bit of this burnt ochre. And I'm actually gonna come back in with some terracotta. And I'm gonna just very lightly, I may need to activate it, but I might not. So maybe some parts I will activate. Just gonna and I'm doing this very lightly, guys. It's not at all dark. And then the ivory, I'm gonna just go right over it. Going over the whole thing with the ivory just to kind of lighten it up a little bit. Okay, so if you wanted to activate it, I do have my Caran d'Ache water brush. I have to think of what it was called, and you can just go from light to dark. This is the fiber tip one. Let me grab the not fiber tipped one there, and then we're just gonna, so it could be activated to make the color a little bit brighter. Wipe it off, and then come back in and push the color back. Now when that dries, you can go back over it if you like. And I feel like maybe I should zoom in just a tad bit more. I feel like we're not, like I'm not in the, okay. So we're gonna let it dry. And let's move on to a different spot. So let's bring in the terracotta again. And for this one, I want it to be on this side. And like I said, you don't have to activate it. You can just leave it like that, because you might not be using arbor-doers. You could be using polys, and then in that case, those aren't water. You can't activate those with water. So we're gonna come in with sanguine, and I'm just going to bring this in here. And again, I'm just using light layers. You guys know I don't use heavy layers for hardly anything. Always assume I'm using light layers unless I say, hey, I'm going in a little bit heavier. And then in that case, take note that I'm going a little bit heavier in said situation. Burnt ochre, I'm sorry. And then this one, I'm just kind of adding it to the bottom here just to create a little bit of darkness. And then I'm coming back with some terracotta, and you can just play with the colors to kind of figure out how intense you want your crystals. Mine, I think, mainly will be covered in lightly because it's nighttime and I want the moonlight to kind of catch most of it. So I'm coming back in with the ivory. Now this ivory is important because it's gonna make it look not white. It's actually gonna dim it a little bit. And then let me just grab my water brush. We'll activate it. Let me just make sure it's not a single shred of water coming out of here. Hang on. Okay. And with the water, I'm just moving to light to dark. And then wiping it off and coming back in. And when it dries, I'll blend it all together. So now that this one up here is dry, I'm gonna come back in with some of that terracotta, and I'm just going to just get that blend back. And I don't want to lose any of the nice softness. And then, and this might seem a little excessive. You don't have to go to this extreme, but this is just for the blending, okay? Moving on to the next section here. So I'm gonna go back to terracotta. And for this one, I think I want this part. And just kind of mix it up on what parts you want to be light and which parts you want to be a little darker. There is no real thought behind where the shadows and stuff is because it's a crystal. I feel like all of the light and everything is just going to be bouncing off of this thing anyway. So coming in with the sand green. And if you wanted to, you can actually bring in a little bit of a darker, like brown, if you wanted the crystals to be more brown. But I figured since this is a red panda, our buddy friend here is going to have a kind of a reddish brown going on to him. And now that this one here is dry in the middle, I'm actually going to come in with this ochre. And I'm going to bring in some of that darkness back. And I'm also going to bring in some of this sand green. Just because I don't want it to lose the reddish color. And so I'm just going to bring a little bit of that back. Same thing with this one. And just kind of play around with your crystals. You can make them look however you want them to look. More brown, more red. So it's totally up to you. And that was sand green I was using. I know it was cut off a little bit. Next, I'm coming back with terracotta, which is not this one. Here it is. Okay. And back with the ivory. And I try not to pick too many colors for my combos when I'm doing these color alongs with you guys, because I know there are some beginners watching, which really honestly I feel like I'm a beginner myself. I'm also gonna come back in with ivory on this one. Don't think of me as a professional, because I'm not. I put a lot of guesswork and a lot of trial and error into my pages. So whilst it may seem like I am knowing what I am doing, I can guarantee you that I do not. So, and for this, I'm just kind of dabbing the water in there. I'm not scrubbing it or anything like that. We'll wait for it to dry. And like I said, you don't have to activate it. That's just me being extra. So, whilst we wait, let's do another one. And this is why I said I wasn't going to do the whole tail with you guys, because we're already at 16 minutes. So I'm definitely going to go off and do the tail myself. Just so that you guys aren't kind of watching me. And this one and this one, I kind of want it to be the same, because we're getting near the top of the crystal. And I want it to be slightly the same. I want it to get light towards the lines. So I'm just doing this area here, and now we're gonna come in. That was terracotta. We're gonna come in with sand green, and I'm just gonna add that redness in here. I don't want to cover the paper. I want you guys to see. Still using the same color. Gonna tone it down with some of this burnt ochre. And excuse the coughing you hear. He is currently sick again. He has caught something from someone at his job, so disregard the coughing if you do hear it. If you don't, then that's even better. Okay? Coming in with ivory. And I'm just gonna go all the way back out, blending it all together. Like I said, some of you won't even need to do all this extraness that I'm doing. Okay, and then I want to bring some sand green into this middle one here, just because it seeming a little dark. I mean, seeming a little light, and I want this part to be kind of dark. So there we go. And then I'm gonna bring some terracotta back. So like I said, it's basically just playing around with the colors that you kind of, where you want them and how dark you want your crystals. And you know, for me, I have a certain idea in mind, and you can do this with any, you know, if you don't want to do the reddish brown, you can come in with a nice brown, like an ochre. But I wanted to give them some tone and definition. Okay, so that's what we got. Now, another thing that I was thinking about, I have, and I'm gonna zoom out here, I have my I have some Tule art markers, and I want to I don't know what color yet. If I have a color light enough, maybe this khaki or this sweet. Maybe the khaki, but I want to white. I want to like, or I might just go in with white, like a white paint pen, and I will white out the tips of these crystals. But I think I'm going to wait until I do the background, because the background will probably be a darker color, and then I don't want to have to, I think if I do the white first, I don't know. If I do the white first, I don't want to accidentally like go into it with the darkness of the background. So I think I'm just gonna wait until we do the background, and then I will go over with paint markers or you know, anything like that. And I wanted to show you guys, like, if you are using polys, I'm just gonna grab the same colors just so you guys know there is no difference. I'm gonna grab the same colors in my polys before we go, because essentially this is the same thing. So here's my polys. They are the same colors as the Albrecht Dürer, as you can see. Excuse me. So we'll do one with the polys, just so I can show you, so you guys don't think I'm like, you know, because a lot of people, some people, like, I don't know if you guys watch, I think it's Shell's Coloring. She uses her Albrecht Dürers for everything. And sometimes when I'm watching her, I go, oh, that's a cool, you know, color combo or something like that. I can do that with my polys because I use my polys the most. But I'm going to show you. So I'm going to put down some of this ivory. Even though I already put some down, we'll just put some more just for video's sake. And here is terracotta, which is what I'm coming in with. As you can see, same color. Well, you probably can't see. Not the way this thing is behaving today. Terracotta, there you go. Okay. So that's what we're using. So for this one, I'm definitely gonna want the crystal to come out here. The polys are just a bit harder than the Albrecht Dürers. So you might get a little bit more vibrancy too, because when I activate my Albrecht Dürers, they do get lighter. But essentially these crystals are the same color. I'm just bringing, only difference is the polys you cannot activate. So what you put down is what you get with the polychromos. Burnt ochre. And this is for the darkening of this part here. And then I'm coming back with terracotta. Though I'd like to think that the terracotta is not as light as the brown ochre, but I want that next to the ivory. So I do terracotta. And then sanguine, I'm going to come back with a little bit more of that so I can darken it up back down here. And then I'm going to go over it with the ivory. Now the ivory, I may or may not need to put a little bit more pressure. Let's see. No, you don't. Never mind. I was going to say because it's a lighter color. But no, we're good. So see, essentially, same thing. Same colors. You can even use them interchangeably. So with that, you guys know it's been a while. So if you're new to my channel, when we do color alongs, I give homework. So our homework is to finish these crystals. And this color along might stretch. This might just be our winter color along because this one's pretty detailed. So this one might go into, you know, maybe into January or at least to the end of December. We'll see. Depends on how busy my schedule is. But our homework, the rest of the tail. And it seems daunting, but we're going to do it. We're going to persevere through this. And the next part, we'll work on the panda. Okay, so if you guys enjoyed our one little crystal that we did, which is another reason why I don't sit and talk you guys' ears off, I show you how to do it, just like in school. I show you how to do it, how I do it, the process. I talk you through it, and then I give you homework, and then when we come back, now the panda, there won't be any homework. We're gonna do that whole panda together, because he's small, so we'll do the whole panda together, so it won't be homework for him. But this tail, stuff like this, definitely homework. So like the snow and maybe the icicles, it might be homework because there's a lot of snow. There's some here, there's snow here, there's icicles and snow there. So that might be homework. But for now, enjoy your homework and I will see you guys next time. And if you are enjoying these color alongs, please leave a thumbs up. They do help me and it lets me know if I should make more color alongs or not. All right, guys. See you in the next video. Bye.